It's XL Primetime, featuring Joe C.
I reduced my toilet paper down to 3 squares.
Matt Hayes.
Big asses and big thighs, yeah.
And Leon Searcy.
Bringing you love, peace, and soul.
I love when Leon says it because it just kind of gets the show rolling in the right direction, a little soul. We're going to miss him today. He's out today and Monday, but he'll be back. A little time off for Big Searcy. We got Coach Campo rolling in just a little bit. Maddie and me ready to break it down when it comes to the divisional round. And honestly, I could argue wild card weekend and divisional round are equal, but we know that's not true because you get the number 1 seeds back in your television screen. You get to see the Chiefs after all that rest that they've had, over 20 days of rest for their primary starters. And then you get to see the Detroit Lions, number 1 seed for the NFC, back in action. And I'll just start the show off and just talk a little bit. We're going to talk a lot about the divisional playoff matchups, what we see on each side of the ball, why and how they got there. But know this right now, the 4 AFC teams, we'll just start out with a saucy on a Friday. The 4 AFC teams that are there representing the Final 4 in the AFC are the exact same ones as a year ago.
Saucy nugs.
And that just sucks.
That is a good nug, actually.
Because Houston is back. Houston has now won another playoff game to make it into the divisional round, which is what they did last year against the Cleveland Browns. And so here we are again. And by the way, old C.J. Stroud has got a chance maybe to put himself in a historical spot with another trip to the divisional round if he can come up and win this bad boy. So I don't like it, but we are definitely going to look at all of them.
We'll just look at those games. We're not going down road negative anymore.
No, I don't.
At least not today.
Yeah, I don't like.
We've had enough of that Jag negative.
Yeah, you know I like being Mr. Positive, but there have been enough things that have just frosted
college
me.
football or Jag positive. All right, let's just go down that road.
These things, you're right. There's enough things that have just frosted me this week though that have gotten to me a little bit. But in a positive sense, we went down this road a little bit yesterday, and then Hayes Carline jumped on with us during Cross before the Friends show took off, and he echoed as much as what we were putting out there as far as the. Well, we played a few sound bites, read a few tweets, and basically you're following the trail of information. And I'll just be the first. I'll raise my right hand. I am not talking to insiders in the National Football League, okay? I do not have
direct. Are you sure?
I do not have direct lines to GMs or anything like that. But I listen to the insiders, and I trust what Pelissero and Rappaport and we'll throw Shefty in this pile. And you can go down the line. Jordan Schultz, he's been a very good reporter on this. Albert Breer, so many other ones. And they're all chasing it right now. And the things that have come out, Jeremy Fowler was another one that echoed what Schefter and Rappaport had said, that there's enough energy around the possibility of Ben Johnson taking this job over any of the other jobs that's a huge positive. And then Hayes comes on and says, hey, conversation he had last night, we're going back to yesterday, so he was talking about Wednesday night, that made him feel pretty dang positive about the possibility of a Johnson in Jacksonville. And so it potentially could be more and more real in the coming days. Now, Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, they got to go out there and coach their fannies off and see if they can keep the Detroit Lions headed in the right direction and do their job for Motown. But if he and Aaron Glenn are two of the top targets in terms of head coaching candidates that are out there, both of them look good, but everyone wants to hire an offensive guy. You know that as well as I do, Matt. Everyone is going to be locked in on that side of the football and making sure that they bring a guy that can come in, draw it up, put this team in a position where they're just scoring, because this team did not do a lot of that.
Yeah, I think if we are headed down and staying down the positive road, at least for this Friday, all right, January 17, 2025, 3 days away from complete change. We got to stay with complete change, okay? The reality is, the team that's playing in the division round right now from the AFC South, this team should have beaten on the road.
Yeah.
On the road, should have beaten them. And we can start saying a lot of shouldas with those one-possession games, which is what Doug Peterson was saying with his shouldas. but at some point you should have all over yourself. So we know that. All right. But
Yes.
But let's also look at this thing with a open mind.
Mm-hmm.
They are one possession games. So I've said over and over that I think there's only a nucleus of strong pieces on this team.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's more. Okay? Maybe with the right guy
Right.
pushing the right buttons, you go from 4-13 to 9-8,
Mm-hmm.
and you win the division. Because clearly you're not that far away. If you should have won in Houston against this team that's now in the division playoffs, against this team that absolutely dismantled the Chargers in the wild card round. So you're not that far away.
No.
At least it doesn't look like that.
Right.
So then the question becomes, how critical are these decisions in free agency and the draft
Mm-hmm.
with the new coach, number one? And number two, how much power will he have with those decisions?
Yeah.
Now, you would think if you're going to get a guy like Ben Johnson, who's the number one candidate right now, I would think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Over everyone, the number one candidate. You would think if you're going to get him, and his decision is to come to Jacksonville over 5 others,
Mm-hmm.
the idea is I'm going to go where I have control. So you would hope that he would have control, or quote unquote, which is what the term they like to use in the NFL, last say. He has last say in NFL free agency and in the draft.
Yeah. What's kind of funny is that you that word or phrase you just used, last say, a lot of times that falls in the lap of the owner. And thankfully, you don't have too many owners that want that responsibility. Jerry Jones is one of the guys that wants that responsibility. I'm sure there are a few others. But the guys that we brag on, general managers in the National Football League that make good decisions, they don't look up to their boss and say, hey, you good with this? No, they make that decision.
Right.
And so most franchises that are successful have the quality built in their front office that says, you know what, we're going to trust that guy. He's going to have a conversation with his head coach. They're going to go down the line, and they're going to either arrive at a consensus or, like you said, quote, last say. Now, think about this. Trent Baalke, if you go back and look at the draft classes from 21 on, Herb still gets a lot of credit. He was right there when they selected Trevor. He was right there when they selected Etienne. He wanted – remember,
Cisco.
He wanted Kadarius.
Walk a little.
He wanted Kadarius Toney bad.
It's all right. They ended up with 4 starters.
Yep. And yeah, you could.
When was the last time they had 4 starters in a draft?
I don't know. It would take a minute for me to find it. But there are a lot of situations where they start off as starters and then they fade. Right. And in the case of Cisco, let's just use him as an example. He's a good starter. He ain't a great starter by any stretch.
He's got to be in the right system. I think he's got to be motivated.
Yeah,
he's seen flashes of potential with him.
He still has a good career ahead of him. I agree with you. I agree with that. But anyway, go past 21. And then you go into 22 when Doug Peterson is hired, and you know that they go Trayvon Walker. They trade up to get Devin Lloyd. Baalke is in love with linebackers at this point, okay? He can't give up enough to get another linebacker. It was just nuts. He went Trayvon, Devin Lloyd, Chad Muma, and it just wouldn't stop. And so then he gets into the next year, and you're thinking, is Doug going to have a little more say? And what happens? Well, what happened? They go and they get Brenton Strange and Tank Bigsby in the 2nd and 3rd rounds after drafting their linemen because they had to. At least the sense was, with Cam Robinson being suspended for 4 games, that they had to go offensive line in the 1st round. They did. Anton Harrison immediately steps in as a starter. But then after that, they went for the 2nd round piece of offense, 3rd round piece of offense. They didn't draft a defensive player until the 4th flipping round. And you're thinking at that point, at least I was, man, Doug Peterson's got more say in that building than I realized. Well, I don't know whether that's true or not. I don't know whether that was as much Baalke as it was Peterson, because then you look at the next round of draft picks in 2024. It's not like Trent has swayed away from giving offensive weapons to his offensive-minded coach. They just haven't all panned out immediately. Anton Harrison, instant starter. Brian Thomas Jr., emerging star and starter as a 1st rounder. But then after that, you're still looking to see where those other guys are going to actually fit in, because Trent went defense down the stretch after taking Brian Thomas Jr. in this year's 1st round. So I don't know. I don't know how much influence a Ben Johnson can have when he walks in the building. I would hope if he does, he has great influence over that.
My guess is he's going to walk in and say, okay, we've got to fix this offensive line. Mm-hmm. Because any guy who's an offense guy, who's a quarterback guy, which he clearly is going to say, we can't do bupkis without an offensive line.
And from where he comes from.
Right.
Because that offensive line is just chock full.
Remember when they were criticized for taking Penei Sewell? They were criticized for taking him instead of a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Well,
they take him, and then the next thing they do is trade up in the first round to get the wide receiver, who's now developed into a great player for them.
Yeah, and the argument at that point was right tackle. Is he going to play there, and is it worth it, and all that kind of stuff? And the guy is a fixture. And if you can draft guys like that, particularly at the high point of the draft, they become fixtures, and that's what you want. And that's why
I honestly, Joe, I think they need a coach. If it's not Ben Johnson, it's got to be someone else. They need a coach who has the ability and who has the fortitude to put his hand down on the table and say, no, this is what we're doing.
Right.
If you want me to be successful, this is where we're going. Because it boggles the mind that they thought that they were good at rushing the quarterback going into the season. It boggles the mind that for the last 2 years they thought they were good on the offensive line.
Right.
So there's got to be a coach who has the ability to say, hey, where we're going right now is going to lead to trouble. It's going to lead to a lot of losses. We all know. Look everybody in the face and say, we all know this is a line of scrimmage league, period. That's where it begins and ends.
Yeah. And I hope, like heck, if it is to be Ben Johnson's world that we're living in for the next handful of years, that he immediately says the only way we rally and turn Trevor into the player you want him to be is to have big, badass individuals up front, manning the front and making sure that that man has a chance to throw the football and make sure that there's a run game to go along with him.
I love Travis Hunter. I love Ted McMillan. I get all that. I get it, you guys out there. You want those big time playmakers. They're nothing. They're nothing without guys on the lines of scrimmage.
Yeah.
They're just not. It's been shown over and over. I mean, look at the season that Brian Thomas Jr. had. Imagine if he's playing with his first-string quarterback with a good offensive line, what kind of season he could have had. Well, he would have had a Justin Jefferson-type season.
Right, and I'm glad you made that point because we've been kind of throwing that out there for a little bit, just how remarkable the season was he had. With other things that were working, just imagine. That wouldn't just be cracking an egg, man. That would be making an omelet. And that dude could be that much more with with a run game that you 100% had to respect. You couldn't ignore it.
Or even just an offensive line that could protect.
Well, yeah, both. But I'm just saying, because what is he? He's a deep ball. He can make the deep play. And if you have a running game that you absolutely can't ignore defensively, when they come in and they say, look, we got to recognize what these guys are doing, which is what Detroit does. That's why Jamison Williams, Amon-Ra, even Sam Laporta, and you can go down the line with guys that make plays for them because of what happens in that run game and their play action.
I completely agree. And that could help an offensive line. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But my point is, how many of those first and second level throws to Brian Thomas that were off, were misses, were just bad throws by both Trevor and Mac?
Yeah.
Okay? Because they got the push. The defensive line got the push up the middle.
Yeah.
I mean, countless.
Yeah.
Countless.
I agree with that. I do agree with that. All right, you guys jump in. 641-1010. Florida Home AC Friday. We love them. They love us. They're the official AC provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they keep it cool on Friday. So you can give us some cool rock suggestions. We love it. 641-1010. You got JJ, the DJ, ready to rock and roll. So give us some good stuff. Put us in a good mood, and we'll get into all these divisional games, talk a little bit more about this head coaching search. How cool do you feel about the idea of maybe Ben Johnson coming to Jacksonville?
It's Florida Home AC Friday on XL Primetime.
Hit the text line with some cool rock requests. Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
We're not a team.
They are the drill.
We're a time bomb.
Explosive morning radio.
I don't find you threatening at all.
On 1010XL.
Cannonball!
Honey, someone's in our pool.
Oh, refreshing.
John, what are you doing?
Oh, hey, Dave. Seeing as how me and the guys at Clearwater Irrigation reinstalled your sprinklers after the pool contractor ripped it out, I thought you wouldn't mind if I took a quick dip.
But in a Jaguar print Speedo?
Yeah, Dave. My bad.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage, too. I'm Chris Campione. In a world of big box law firms with satellite offices, there's something special about having a local legal team that cares about you and your community. We're not just lawyers, we're your neighbors. We understand the unique challenges facing the Jacksonville community because we live here too. At Campione Law, Campione Cares isn't just a tagline, it's our commitment to you. Campione Law, your trusted lawyers after an accident. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione Law.
Start the weekend early and head over to Moss Fire Grill for happy hour. Ice cold drafts, margaritas, plus handcrafted bites starting at just $5. $5 during happy hour from 3 to 7 at Moss Fire Grill.
See you on the rooftop.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's contestant, a professional stamp licker from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Martin Celery.
Oh, gosh. I can't wait to play, Bob.
Well, let's move things along. Tell him what he's won, Johnny.
Wait, but
That's right, Marty. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we've stocked up on the remaining inventory of low-cost 2024 model air conditioners. So you win. We're passing the savings on to you.
Can I answer a question first?
We need to make room for the 25s, so we're offering great deals on AC replacements while supplies last.
Could I spin the wheel at least? I've been practicing for a year.
With last-minute deals like this, there's no question that you are cool.
What do I tell my kids?
There you go. Have a souvenir t-shirt.
Thanks.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Hacker here with a question. Was your goal to lose weight this year? If so, are you already down 31 pounds? Now that's a serious question because I dropped 31 pounds my first 3 weeks alone with Awaken 180 weight loss. Now I had more to lose than most, but Dempsey, Matt Hayes both dropped 18 in their first 3 weeks. That's how fast the weight can fall off when you choose the solution for weight loss. Where am I now? I'm down over 115 pounds. My goal was to lose 100, but my new goal is to be under 200 pounds for the first time since I was in college. The results are real and the results are fast with Awaken 180. Whether you're not seeing these types of results with your new weight loss program or if you've already given up, don't. Do what we all did and make the call to Awaken 180. 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey, poker fans! The Best Bet Winter Open Series returns to Best Bet Jacksonville from January 23rd to February 2nd. Satellites into the $1,500 main event kick off January 4th. Take your shot at big payouts with 8 action-packed events and $500,000 in guarantees. Visit bestbetjacks.com for more details. That's bestbetjacks.com. And we'll see you at the Winter Open starting January 23rd.
If your high school student is a high performer, they could be 1010XL Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
And the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234.
Wednesdays on The Franchi Show.
On 1010XL.
These are interesting economic times. That's why it's so important to have someone you can count on. That's ITP Partners. Jacksonville folks taking care of our Jacksonville money. Experience? You best believe you want to give your hard-earned money to folks you trust. Jeff Hartman, Chris Bryan, Dan Abel, Reed Wingate, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reagan Wright have the expertise and knowledge to help clients in their financial lives, focusing on investment management, financial planning, and risk management. ITP Partners, financial partners for life. Securities offered through American Portfolios Financial Services, Inc. Member FINRA SIPC.
Ring in the new year with a new boat. Don't miss the Jacksonville Boat Show, January 24th, 25th, and 26th at the Prime Osborne Convention Center. Presented by ViStar Credit Union. Tickets at boatjacks.com. Come buy a boat.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie for Ricketts Electric. Now, any good lineup needs power. When I needed a power connection for our new Walk-Off Charities baseball park, I found the perfect partner in Ricketts Electric. You're going to love these guys, I'm telling you. The Ricketts family has been providing commercial and residential electric service for years. So call my buddy Zach Ricketts today at 904-320-5960, and you can find them on Facebook as well. You will trust them. That's Ricketts Electric, the city's best power connection. Call them today at 320-5960.
I'm living proof that with Rebound Rehab, you can bounce back and get back in the game. Joe C. for Rebound Rehabilitation, and they helped me recover from an ankle injury that had me down and out. Their team of physical therapists ensure you'll get the best treatment you need to recover and regain mobility. From back, shoulder, and neck pain to a nagging knee or arthritis, Rebound Rehab can help form a game plan through therapy and exercise, complete with an app so you can continue to recover at home. Check out reboundrehab.com. 8 convenient locations.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime. Brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool. On 1010XL.
All right, so we're going to talk head coaching possibilities for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Take a look at the other guys. I couldn't help but laugh when I was looking at one of the guys reporting this morning, or maybe just one of the shows that was reporting this morning, and the total number of Chicago Bear interviews right now is Mike McCarthy interviews for Bears head coaching position, and the caption says McCarthy is the 9th candidate to interview with the team with 9 more requested.
Are the Bears saying that, or that's just somebody's reporting that?
Yeah, that's just what they put on the screen. So I took a picture of them. Like, are you kidding me? 8 already.
Well, let's remember there's all kind of you and I were talking about this before the show, man. You can say whatever you want now. Anybody on any platform, anywhere can say whatever they want.
Right.
And it doesn't matter.
Right.
So, like Buck Bellew, who I like Buck. Buck does a great job in his radio show in Atlanta. You probably hate him because of 1980, and I understand that completely. Buck tweeted out earlier today that Mike Bobo was going to step down because of health reasons. Meanwhile, Buck Bellew is in South Florida recruiting a 5-star quarterback for Georgia.
Bobo is in South Florida.
I mean, Bobo.
Not Bellew.
I'm sorry, not Buck Bellew. Bobo.
Get your B's separated.
I got my B's all. Dia Bell is a 5-star recruit who has committed to Texas, a big-time quarterback recruit, okay? This is literally 10 minutes ago, Dia Bell tweets that, 2 hours ago, somebody retweeted 10 minutes ago. 2 hours ago, Dia Bell tweets, blessed and thankful to have received an offer from Georgia football, Kirby Smart, and Mike Bobo.
Yeah.
So my guess is he's probably not flying down there convincing Dia Bell, who's an elite dude, a 5-star quarterback, who Texas has a commitment from, who everybody wants. And once he gets it, he's going to say, time to go.
Well, has Bellew tweeted out anything? And this is Georgia Bellew. This is not 1010XL and Truth Teller Bellew. Okay?
Right, this is Buck Bellew.
This is BELUE.
Right.
Yeah, he tweeted about an hour ago, I admire Mike Bobo's passion and commitment to the Georgia Bulldog football program. I hope he is on the list of all-time great Bulldogs. Hope the reports are untrue. I want him back as OC.
Oh, okay. So
he wrote. So he said he heard that it was happening. Then he came back with that one. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, a little walk back, maybe.
Sort of. Buck's got a little power.
Well, he's definitely in that circle. There's no question about it.
He does have more power than Kirby. I can tell you.
No.
That's Kirby's roommate. The only person who's making that decision is Kirby.
Yeah, but I'm just saying he's in that circle, so he probably heard from Bobo or Kirby.
Maybe.
And said,
maybe.
Buck, come on, that ain't true.
Can anyone name Mike Bobo be a good coach? Serious question.
I mean,
how can you hire someone named that? I know he played for them, but
I mean, to be
his
fair,
name is Mike Bobo.
He had some really good offenses with the quarterbacks he coached at Georgia. Some really good Aaron Murray was terrific.
Oh, yeah, but it's so funny. You can hear a defensive coordinator on the other side. I will take that Bozo's offensive game plan. Yeah. And you could just hear them having fun with it. But he has been.
They just couldn't protect anybody. Again, Joe, I'm sorry for interrupting you. Again, it goes to protecting the quarterback.
Yeah, it always will.
They couldn't protect Carson Beck. They had the highest amount of sacks ever under a Kirby Smart this year. Ever.
But Mike Bobo has had a career as a quarterback and a play caller for the University of Georgia, where he has been decorated and he's been decimated by criticism. And so he
did beat the Gators in 97.
Yeah.
I will never, ever forget that game. When Robert Edwards ran around the left end and scored, to put it away. He literally did the nesty plunge on the field. And fell right back on his back.
And you can't take it from him. Jim Donnan, the same thing. Jim Donnan's like, you can never take that away from me.
He was in the locker room after the game. He was like, I can't tell you how much bleep I have heard from Florida fans over the last 3 years. And then he goes, and Georgia fans.
Jim Donnan took the time to walk out to our little tailgate. This was not for me. This was for old Uncle Dave.
Oh, no doubt in my mind.
And he goes, you think they think I can coach a little bit of ball now? Okay? Because they were all over him.
Yeah.
That he's in over his head. He can't coach. He's just a Division II. He's this and that. And obviously that was a mammoth game for the University of Georgia, just to try and break the streak at that point in 1997. That's for sure. All right. So we'll keep an eye on that storyline because Cruton is a big part of what goes on right now. You know, Bill Belichick and Mike Bobo are probably down in South Florida right now. Cruton.
No, Belly's in D.C. in the Baltimore area, actually.
Yeah. I did see
they call it the DMV.
Mm-hmm. I did see one tweet where they said that, what was it, a picture of him and his girlfriend. And they were, let me make sure I have
recruiting,
this right.
Joe. Recruiting.
Oh, he's been recruiting.
They were recruiting.
He's been recruiting 20-year-olds for a while, I'll just tell you that. But they just took a picture. Well, he has. They just took a picture. Anyway, I'll look back and find it and give it to you on X a little bit later on.
He's probably in that area because he's going to hang out with the new president on the 20th too. They're buds.
Yeah, so, maybe.
I know Matt was making a point about like reporting and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But the Bears, like all these teams are publicly announcing.
That's what I'm saying. That's what the first thing I asked was, did the Bears say
so it's not like false reporting. This is just like from the actual team.
So the Bears actually said they have interviewed
or they plan on, like the Jags did. They came out with a list.
That was my first question. Like who came out?
And it's funny because you can say requested. You may not get
true.
Yeah, either granted permission or a yes from that individual candidate. But the fact that we're talking about casting a big old net. If you say 18 are either interviewed or requested to be interviewed, that's a massive amount of candidates. And I don't mind doing all of that just to find out. We always talk about whenever you have a head coaching vacancy that comes open and you're in charge of hiring your next coach, a lot of times they will interview just to gain intel. What's your plan? And then you'll hear maybe things that you want to hear about how they are successful under this individual or who he would bring in. And you start to hear names. Anyway, it's a fact-finding mission in a lot of cases for a lot of them. And for Chicago, they have their prize in Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze, for that matter, decent defense. And they want to make sure that they get whomever in there to help Caleb. We're talking about rescuing Trevor from an abyss. They need to do the same thing. Caleb got knocked around. He flashed middle of the season. He was starting to catch up with Jaden Daniels stats-wise, doubled up the Jags, we'll all remember.
I was just going to say, I'm not saying it, man.
And then
because you're talking about how bad he was, and they just absolutely
was that their last win
team.
Of the year? I'm not even sure. I mean, it's probably got to be one of them.
It probably is because I think I was rattling it off when we were looking at it. There was only like one more win in between a 5-game losing streak.
I mean, they looked like a playoff team that game.
Yeah, they looked pretty good. And Caleb towards the end kind of got knocked around. They were in close ball games. They won that last game.
Okay, so before the very last game of the season, yes, the Jags, October 13th, was their last win before rolling off 6, 7, 8, 10 straight L's.
Yeah, Hard Rock Bet and me, we both have it on good authority that they won that last game, okay, against Green Bay, those savages.
Remember the
I'm
whole,
guessing you were on the losing end.
You think?
Okay.
Remember the whole, they can get back, get in their way again after those 2 games in London. They'll go out there and get away from the noise here, and they'll straighten it out, man.
Well, it worked 2 years ago. That's the only time.
They literally got kneecapped.
Yeah. That's the only time it's really worked. They haven't actually said that phrase, I don't believe, since then. But,
I promise we weren't going to go down that road.
Yeah.
Are you guys surprised that the Bears seemingly have like a lack of interest from Ben Johnson? Like the number 1 overall pick last year, you would expect like an offensive-minded guy would love to go coach for him or coach him, but that doesn't seem to be the case.
No, not right now. I guess if you are reading the tea leaves, at least what people are saying, and sometimes they can shock you.
Vegas or Jags.
Yeah, when they hardly talk about something and then they take it, you're like, wait a minute, that came out of nowhere. It's possible, but yeah, it's right now a franchise that's trying to. They've made some mistakes. They've made quite a few mistakes when it comes to the quarterback position, and then obviously with the cycle of head coaches that have moved through there, not unlike here in Duval. And so, they're trying to make sure they get it right. All right, let's play this one soundbite real quick, and then we'll react to it coming up. So this is Aaron Glenn, and this was earlier in the week, and he is being asked a question about his head coaching. Like, can you be a head coach and succeed in this in the National Football League coming from the defensive side? Anyway, you'll hear the questioner, and then this is Aaron Glenn at the podium and his response.
Typically, Bill Belichick is a shining example of a defensive coach who won Super Bowls, but typically it's offensive coordinators. They come from the offense who become Super Bowl head-winning coaches.
Yeah.
Why do you think that might be?
Well, I don't know if that's truly accurate. I can just go off the top of my head with Bill Cowart, Mike Tomlin, Bill Belichick. That's won a ton of Super Bowls as a defensive coach. And here's the one thing that I would say about myself. I'm a coach. I just happen to be on defense. I understand the offense just as well as a number of people. So if you want to hire me, you're going to hire a coach. You're not going to hire a defensive coach. I'm going to talk to the offense just as much as I'm going to talk to the defense.
And that's really how you got to look at it. If he brings in the right guy, you take a look at what Dan Quinn has done up in Washington. It's an offensive showcase. It's been a rookie masterpiece from Jaden Daniels. Dan Quinn comes in as a defensive guy. You can definitely point to the other guys. The hires with the McVays, the Siriannis, they definitely all come from the offensive side. Sean McDermott comes from the defensive side, and he's been ultra successful. They may not have been able to make it all the way to the Super Bowl, but Sean McDermott, on his watch up in Buffalo, been a pretty damn good and exciting offensive team. And he's gone through a couple of OCs, and they've done well. Actually, at least on his third, I think he might have had somebody there before Brian Dable as well. Bottom line is, if you are an organizer and you have attention to detail, it doesn't matter what side of the ball you come from, as long as you hire good people and you make people accountable.
Well,
honestly,
if you're a defensive coach, you have to know offense. That's everything to you.
Yeah, because you're constantly trying to figure it out.
How to stop it, right? It doesn't mean it makes you a great play caller, right?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean if you're Matt Patricia, all of a sudden you can go from being a defensive play caller to an offensive play caller. But it certainly means you know.
My mouth a little
right?
bit.
It certainly means you know offense, though. Like you know the offensive game. But and by saying that, you also know who you want to be your offensive coordinator or who causes conflicts to defenses.
Mm-hmm.
What schemes, what coaches.
Yeah.
So you're not like if you hire a defensive guy, it doesn't mean all of a sudden your offense is going to suck. That's the furthest thing from the truth. These guys have to know every little thing about offense.
Yeah. They need to have both sides of the ball on the same page with the same type of passion and performance. Simple as that. All right, you guys hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, 641-1010. You can jump in the YouTube chat. We definitely have someone we want to react to coming up as far as your thoughts on where this team could go, might go, will go. You hope they go in that direction for a head coach.
It's Florida Home AC Friday on XL Primetime. Hit the text line with some cool rock requests. Follow the JU Dolphins on 1010XL.
JU brings their 4-game win streak to Swisher Gym against Central Arkansas. Dolphins Bears, Saturday at 3 on 1010 AM.
Yup, E.T. here. And are you a golfer or a runner? Well, Clay County has you covered. The Hellcat 5K and 10K on Saturday, January 18th is at the historic Lee Field in Green Cove Springs, winding through a historic World War II naval base. Then, February 5th through the 7th, watch the top talent compete in the 2025 Clay County Open at Eagle Harbor Golf and Country Club. This pro tournament boasts golfers chasing the PGA Tour dream. For info on both events, visit the event calendar on exploreclay.com.
Mia here for MyBookie. It's win or go home. The NFL playoffs are the ticket to the biggest game of the year, and all roads lead to New Orleans. The NCAA playoffs will set the stage, but this is your chance to get in on every high-stakes moment along the way. Your road to New Orleans starts now with MyBookie. MyBookie is the ultimate destination for bettors who want more, whether you're betting the underdogs or riding with the favorites. Every drive, every touchdown, every moment is an opportunity to win big. Kick off your 2025 right with risk-free Thursdays. Place a bet, and if it doesn't hit, MyBookie has your back. Dive into the Bet Boost tab to supercharge your picks and build that bankroll before the big game. And when the games are over, the action does not stop, folks. MyBookie's online casino keeps the excitement going 24/7. Blackjack, roulette, slots, it's all there. Whether you're celebrating a big win or gearing up for the next round. Haven't joined yet? Now's the time. Use promo code 1010XL on your first deposit, and MyBookie will hook you up with an instant bonus because you deserve to start the year off right.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Mia here. Why Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned? I'll tell you why. Over 600 vehicles in stock right now. That's 275 SUVs, over 200 cars, over 110 pickups on the ground in stock, one location. Arlington Pre-Owned even has 125 vehicles under $18,000. Plus, Arlington's 30-day exchange program is now double. That's 60 days to love it or exchange it. Plus, Arlington's Credit for Everyone program. Shop 10939 Atlantic Boulevard or arlingtontoyota.com.
If you've played sports or still lead an active life, chances are joint pain is nothing new. This is Dr. George Barry of Barry Orthopedics, and we like to be your option when it comes to taking care of your body and getting back in the game. From shoulders to elbows to hip and knee pain, Barry Orthopedics can diagnose and treat a variety of injuries that are causing you pain. We are Barry Orthopedics and online at barryorthopedics.com. With more than 30 years of experience, our team is here to care for your entire family.
Find out more at barryorthopedics.com. That's BAHRI orthopedics.com.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On January 17, 2012, LeBron James becomes the youngest player in NBA history to record 20,000 career points during Miami Heat's 92-75 victory over the Golden State Warriors.
Value or flavor? Price or taste? Why choose when you can get both with everyday deals at Sonny's? Right now, you can get the pork big deal for $10, the pork and rib combo for $12, and all-you-can-eat ribs for just $19.99. Yep, you heard right. All your favorites are now available all day, every day. And that's why it's always Sonny's here. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmaster since '68.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative, with answers to the questions I'm asked the most. Yes, we are local, and no, I'm not hiring an actor to read these commercials. Check us out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all. It's New Year's resolution time, like fixing that leaky faucet, unplugging that drain, or getting your AC ready for the summer. Start the year off right with Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. Call us today at 904-862-6769. Because when you're stuck, call the Duck.
New year, new club. This is Joe C., and I'm proud to be a member of Southampton. And with the popularity of golf, getting a tee time is tough. But with membership comes member privileges. Enjoy clubhouse dining, expanded practice area, focusing on all parts of your game. And right now, you can join with an annual commitment and get a $1,000 discount, plus $500 of Pro Shop credit. All the details are online at golfsouthampton.com or call 287-PLAY and make a tee time today at the Golf Club of Southampton.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
We are hanging out on a beautiful Friday, warming up just a little bit. We will take that, that's for sure. Florida Home AC, always keeping it cool inside or warm when you need it. Make sure you check them out, FloridaHomeAC.com, the official AC provider of your Jacksonville Jaguars. We like rock and roll on Fridays, so make it cool. Just hit JJ up, 641-1010, and get some good rock and roll to come back from break with. We love it. Off the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures, talking about the head coaching search here. You just heard what Aaron Glenn had to say and just the idea of just getting the guy. The question, does it matter to NFL coaches that Jax is in a winnable division versus AFC West or NFC North? And to that, I generally say yes. I think anybody who is looking at the possibility of taking a job, and let's just stay in the NFL right now for this, is that you look long-term at your possibility of success in the future. Yes, it matters, but it shouldn't be the only thing that matters because people come and go in every division. But the first thing that this Texter's mentioning is the NFC North. Look at what Baltimore's doing. Pittsburgh can't quite figure. Did he say NFC North? Yeah, he did, right? NFC North? All right, so now let me get to the NFC instead of the AFC North. Want to make sure. I'm like, wait a minute. What did I see? You take a look at what Detroit's doing. Take a look at what Minnesota did before they got eliminated. Take a look at what Green Bay has, at least for the most part. Last year, they were successful, and they got probably more questions about Jordan Love than they were hoping for at the end of this year. But the bottom line is that's a decent division that's on the up. And you take a look at Kevin O'Connell, Matt LaFleur, obviously Dan Campbell, and then whoever they plug in Chicago. 3 of the 4 right now are pretty decent, successful, hey, look at my resume type of coaches. You kick it out to the AFC West, which is what we brought up yesterday. Does a Ben Johnson want to walk into a world that has Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid, Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert? And we don't quite – Sean Payton and Bo Nix are just now beginning their side-by-side success together. Does he want to walk into a world where the Raiders have to compete with those other 3 franchises and the Raiders have been a hot mess? Well, it's a good market. You've got a chance to be very visible out there, but is that a division that you want to compete in? And I do think those are fair questions, at least for the immediate success of any of these head coaches. May not be the only thing, but it's got to be one of the things.
So the Bears won 1 division game this year. The Raiders did not win a division game this year. The Jags, of course, beat the Colts, beat the Titans, beat the Titans again.
They swept them.
So that's 3. All right? I guess my point is this. Look, I truly believe that I don't think it matters what division you're in. I'll tell you why. Because division games are different, man. You really know your opponent's personnel. You know what they do. You know how they scheme things up. Your players get up more for those games. So if you're competitive, you can win those games. The Jaguars won 4 games and won 3 against the division.
Right. It's gettable.
If I was a coach, I guess this is what I'm saying. If I was a coach, the AFC West would not scare me. Because if I'm getting my team together and putting my team together how I want it, and I believe I can build a team that can compete for a playoff spot, I don't care who's in the division. It doesn't matter. Well, yeah. So but I understand the question from the text line because clearly if you look at it, you would think, all right, well, it's an easier road in the AFC South than the AFC West, right? But man, those AFC South games are just dog fights.
Yeah.
Dog fights.
Yeah. But I think if you had a program that was built with the guy at the top knowing exactly how to execute, hire, develop talent, coach them up.
It doesn't matter what division you're in.
Right. Make them accountable. I agree with you. You can walk in any, but there is no mistaking that this division has less working for them. Houston has now won back-to-back years as a team that at the very least were able to survive last season in 2023, just basically outlast. That's probably a better way to do it because Jacksonville crumbled down the stretch, and then they beat Indy for that winner makes it into the postseason a year ago. And so by default, they have been able to win this division, honestly, the last couple of years. So, hell yeah, I would look at this one as much more appealing to have early success and maybe even sustained success.
Let me just say this to you, okay? The Texans in division games this year, okay? Beat the Colts by 3. Beat the Jags by 4. Beat the Colts by 3.
Yeah.
Beat the Titans by 5. Beat the Jags by 3. Beat the Titans by 9.
Yeah, not easy.
Those, I'm telling you, man, those games are dog fights in the division. I don't care what division you're in.
Right, no, for the most part. But I think anyone that's watching the National Football League is going to simply say, you know what? Oh my gosh, I don't want to.
Of course.
I don't want. I can't. No one seems to figure out the Mahomes magic and how to.
I'd much rather play. Right. I'd much rather play Will Levis than Pat Mahomes. I totally agree with you.
Right. And the one of the main reasons Jim Harbaugh walked into the AFC West is because he said, you know what, I'm a damn good coach, and number 2, that's a damn good quarterback that I've got.
Yes.
And now I'm walking in to fix something that was broken, so I'm gonna get the attention of the Spanos and family. I'm gonna say, hey, I need control. You guys need to make sure that we follow my blueprint of success. Now, they got blown out in the opening round of the playoffs, but they definitely turned things around because they went from the bottom of the division to the top. As a matter of fact, we mentioned L.A. I think this is a perfect time, JJ, to fire up some music if you don't mind, And let's go from the Atlantic to the Pacific. Oh, a delicious Mexican lager.
Oh my God! Right now too.
Oh,
I'm exhausted right now. I could just go for one of those lagers,
just
hanging
say
out on a beach.
You can
in
roll.
Anguilla.
You can roll. You can roll into the Lou right now on Beach Boulevard and order up whatever you want. Some of the banging tacos, just some of and then just put a Pacifico right next to that plate.
And then just dream you've got your toes in white sand, the talcum powder sand.
Just remember,
the sun beaming down on you,
Pacifico,
sweat rolling off your chest.
It was
that cold beer going to your lips.
Found in Baja, imported by surfers for those who live life. Anchors up. Let's talk the path all the way to the big game. Playoff chatter. We mentioned earlier that the exact same 4 in the AFC from last year are the exact same 4 in the AFC this year.
Right.
Only the second time in history that has happened. And another thing to think about is that they've been able to duplicate success because others have not been able to rally and fix what's wrong with them. That's how Houston got back there, because everyone else just kind of caved. They totally caved. Baltimore, good once again, so that's not a shock. Buffalo, good once again, not a shock. But when you're talking about the makeup of the AFC, Kansas City, Buffalo, and Baltimore are kind of regs. They're regulars. They're repeat performers. But Houston was the one that got back in there for the second straight year. And for C.J. Stroud's part in this is crazy to think about it, 23 years of age. And this is a saucy to go along with our Pacifico. He will be, if he's able to do it, the youngest starting quarterback to face a defending Super Bowl champion in the postseason and pick him off.
Saucy nugs.
If he can. I don't think he will. I don't imagine that most people out there taking a look at an 8.5, 9.5 point line think that C.J. Stroud will do it. But are you ready for the other half of this, Saucy?
Let's hear it.
Who was the youngest to win in that situation? Youngest starting quarterback to pick off a defending Super Bowl champion in the postseason.
Oh.
We're going back.
Yeah, it's got to be because Burrow didn't beat Burrow to get.
I'll just tell you this. This is how far back we're going. It was whenever Leon is reminded, stay in your era.
Right.
It was his era. And it was the first year this team made it to the postseason.
Wow.
That's how far back we're going.
Wow. First time they've ever made it to the postseason?
Mm-hmm. And so CJ is 23, could be the youngest to knock off a Super Bowl champion.
Since this team.
Well, the same year.
Yeah.
So in 1996, Kerry Collins was 24 years of age, and he knocked off the Cowboys that beat Leon and the Steelers. So we're looking at C.J. Stroud all of a sudden catching a little life midway through this game last week. I hope he dies on a vine, football-wise, on Saturday, because I don't want to see that cat have any more success. But he definitely, all of a sudden, the lights came on. He almost turned the ball over. It was rolling right around his goal line. He picks it up, heaves it to the middle of the field, finds an open receiver, and the rest is history. They ended up blowing out the L.A. Chargers. But he has a chance to make a little history. 8 starting quarterbacks that are in the divisional round right now were all selected in the top 2 rounds of the NFL draft. Mm-hmm. And so that's another thing to key in on. You do have your guy.
Too.
Yeah, you do have your guy. And you want to make sure he's one of the guys that comes from good stock. All these guys have been drafted very highly in the NFL draft. Jalen Hurts is really the lowest one when you think about it, because he was drafted in the second round. All these other cats
the only second round,
are first-round draft picks. And so you have to get to a point where you've got that guy, you start to build around him, and we'll find out whether or not it can happen. Pat Mahomes, he has dominated in the divisional round. Listen to these numbers. He has a 6-0 record. He goes over the 300-yard mark in total yards per game, 16 touchdowns, and 0 turnovers. Okay? This guy doesn't miss. And even when he had to go on the road last year, he was able to do it against the likes of Buffalo and Baltimore, which is still crazy to think about it. And he flips the switch. There is no doubt about that. And he's had this 20-day break, and we're going to find out whether or not he can keep it going. But right now, he's got it going. Now,
will it be 20 days since the last time he played?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I believe it's like 2021.
Makes sense.
It's at least 20.
Think about these quarterbacks, okay?
Yeah.
CJ was 3rd overall.
Mm-hmm.
Mahomes was 10th overall. Daniels was 2nd.
Yeah.
Goff was 1st. Stafford was 1st. Second rounder, of course, for Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
El Boogie was, 27?
Yeah, he was right around where Taven Bryan was drafted. I think he might have been 30th.
Right.
I think he was 30th. I think they jumped back in and got him.
I think Josh Allen was top 10, right?
He was 7.
He was 7, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's you. If you're going to win in this league, you better figure out that position, man. And it better be somebody that's got some bona fides with him.
Yeah. JJ was bringing this up the other day, and we went down the road, just kind of like a quick quiz. Coach and quarterback, just how good they are, especially when they combo up like Brady and Belly. Andy Reid has 26 postseason wins, second most in NFL history, one of 5 with 3 Super Bowl victories. This guy is just really, honestly, they said, hey, Philadelphia said, hey, Andy, maybe time to move on. How's that working?
Right.
Okay.
I think Andy's a great coach, but let's also be fair.
Yes.
He had Donovan McNabb and Pat Mahomes. That's pretty good.
He is Phil Jackson, okay? Phil had Michael and Scotty and then got Kobe and Shaq. It's crazy. Mahomes, 15 career postseason wins. The only guy he's trailing is the GOAT, and the GOAT's got a bunch of them, along with Joe Montana, who has just one more postseason win than Pat Mahomes. So
think about that.
Oh, my God.
So he's literally
feel
2
like
away
he's been
from
in the
being-
league for 5 years.
Yes.
So he's 2 away from being second overall?
Yes.
Wow.
It's nuts what he's
Wow.
been able to do.
And what? Brady has 30-something?
Brady has 35.
35.
Mahomes has 15. Montana has 16.
35.
And it's
Like, what's
nuts.
his playoff record? Like 35-7 or something?
It's pretty strong. It's pretty-
Golly.
yeah. And so and here's the other one.
That's an outlier, by the way, everybody.
I'm going to see if I can find this real quick. But the rushing yards that Mahomes has in the postseason is crazy good. Like, you just would not expect it. I'll see if I can find
So
that.
he's 35-13, Brady is.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
How do you lose 13 games? So 13 seasons he ended?
Yeah.
I guess
I mean, he
yeah,
didn't
'cause
win it every year.
Yeah. So he played how many? 20 seasons and then, oh no, 21. They didn't go 1 year, right?
Think about it. He's
he had
played
the
in 48 playoff games.
Yeah. He
Holy
has like
crap.
Yeah, he's like that's 3 extra seasons of football. Like LeBron has played
Right.
five extra seasons, maybe
Yeah.
even more than that in the NBA. That's Brady in a football world.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll throw a few more at you because the matchup between the Bills and the Ravens is really gonna be good. The coach will come rolling in, so we'll break that one down with him. But really, Pacifico more than anything else, just enjoy one of those as you're watching any of the playoff ball in the National Football League. It starts tomorrow and it goes into Sunday night before we find out who will play for the AFC Championship and the NFC Championship.
It's Florida Home AC Friday on XL Primetime. Hit the text line with some cool rock requests. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
It was a place of brotherhood, camaraderie, love, and trust.
The Gators celebrate as national champions.
Being a Gator, it's unique. It's a drive. It's a passion that is relentless.
1010XL.
Home of the Florida Gators.
Do the Garber wiggle, Garber wiggle, 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 Garber wiggle.
It's the time of year all our customers love. At Garber Auto Mall, every 2024 must go. Take advantage of thousands in discounts on all new Chevy, Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Ford. Visit us in Green Cove Springs or at GarberAutomall.com. And remember, at Garber Auto Mall, there's always a little room for wiggle.
Garber wiggle, Garber wiggle, 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 Garber wiggle.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campion, Campion Law.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hey guys, it's your boy E.T. and you need a little extra boost in the bedroom? Blue Chew is what you need. By now, you probably know that Blue Chew is an online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, and Staxin in a chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. So what you waiting for? Blue Chew is all online. No doctor's visits, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Plus, it ships right to your front door in a discreet package. Their licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredients and strengths for your prescription. Guys, if you don't like swallowing pills, no problem. Blue Chew is chewable. And ready for a great offer? How about free? Go to BlueChew.com, consult with a licensed medical provider, and get your first month free. Turn that oh no into a oh yeah. Just chew it and do it. Visit BlueChew.com.
Hey, this is Bert Cannon with the First Coast YMCA. Youth sports at the Y can help nurture your future athlete's potential and experience the joy of being a kid. At the Y, we're providing a safe, clean, and fun environment with basketball, soccer, volleyball, gymnastics, elite skills training, and more. Best of all, participation in Legacy Youth Sports League is free with your family membership. Visit fcymca.org to learn all about youth sports at the Y.
You can't go inside your home team's locker room, so Jags beat reporter Hayes Carline goes there for you.
Work on three, 1, 2, 3,
Hayes Carline here. Find my blog at 1010xl.com.
Brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing, where quality and experience count. The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey, Icken here for Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code JAX, J-A-X, to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's promo code JAX to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, man. Run your game.
Don't go through another year with all that high-interest debt. Let Loan Pronto wipe it all out now. Hey, it's Prosser here, and Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan makes it easy to pay off all your credit cards or tackle that 2025 home improvement project. Get cash in your pocket fast. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's AI-driven tech gets you approved and funded in as little as 1 day. One client got $150,000 approved in under 24 hours, paid off all their credit cards, 2 cars, and personal loans, saving over $1,500 per month. With low fixed rates and lightning fast transfers, you can do it too. Consolidate debt, improve your home, take control of your finances. Imagine being credit card debt-free by this time next week. You can. Don't wait. Call Loan Pronto now, 904-999-1508, or visit loanpronto.com. Get your free quote now with no hard credit pull at 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166178. Subject to lender approval, NMLS consumeraccess.org.
Hi, Jags fans. Walker Little here for my friends at Kingfish Pest Control. Playing offensive line in the NFL, I must block and protect on every down. When it comes to keeping my home pest-free, I expect that same level of protection. So I contacted Kingfish after seeing thousands of positive online customer reviews about their service. I can confirm from personal experience, bugs don't stand a chance getting past Kingfish Pest Control. Do what I did. Reach out to Kingfish Pest Control to protect your home, a proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
Icken here for Bound 9 Associates, where you'll find Jacksonville's most esteemed eye doctors at each of their locations. After being selected for one of the most competitive ophthalmology fellowships in the world, Dr. Frank Bowden is frequently called upon for his expert opinion. He is currently one of the few cornea and external disease specialists in the area and the founder of Bound 9. Visit Bound 9 Associates today and experience the difference. Bound 9 Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
This is head coach Matthew Driscoll from the UNF men's basketball team. When our players suffer an orthopedic injury, Southeast Orthopedic Specialist gets our players back on the court pain-free.
We appreciate the endorsements from our high school and college coaches. This is Dr. Kevin Murphy. The next time you need orthopedic care, you can rely on our team at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
I'm Max Fink here with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, brought to you by Chad and Sandy Real Estate. The Miami Hurricanes have hired a new defensive coordinator, Corey Heatherman, in hopes he can transform this defense to match its production to the explosive Hurricanes offense. Coach Heatherman, who was the defensive coordinator at Minnesota this season, ran a very efficient defense who ranked 9th in fewest points per game allowed, 5th in yards per game, and 7th in interceptions. Although it's early, Coach Heatherman already gave a sneak peek to what the identity of his defense will be.
Yeah, we're going to be aggressive. We want to be an attacking style defense. We're going to be very multiple. I think there's a lot of really good athletes. I think there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of speed on the defensive side of football. And I think I'm excited about trying to figure out exactly where everyone goes and where everyone will work. But, we're going to be an attacking, aggressive style defense. And, we're going to try to dictate the tempo.
It's 63 degrees at 3 o'clock time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
I know you guys probably turned this up just a little bit, right? JJ, just a little bit. I think this was a special request from Coach Dave Campo. His walk-in.
Korn is one of his favorite bands.
Yeah,
He's always told me that.
I thought this was like Lamb of God or something.
He loves them. The 3 o'clock hours here, JJ is spinning it. So a rock and roll feel to your Friday. If you want to come in with some cool rock suggestions, hit JJ up. I love the banging rock and roll, that's for sure. And we love our head coach, Dave Campo, who's hanging out with us now. Maddie, we are ready to break it down. We got to get to the college football playoff on Monday, but Coach, you are here specifically to talk divisional round football, are you not?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's happening this weekend. And I'll be excited on. Is it Monday the championship?
Yes.
game?
Yeah.
I'll be excited on Monday, but right now I'm excited.
I thought you were going to the inauguration.
Well, I'm excited about that as well, actually.
Have you told Kay that starting Saturday around 10 a.m., forget it?
Well, listen, that happened last
Saturday,
weekend.
Sunday, Monday for you?
No, listen, that started last weekend.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
well, she knows me by now.
Yeah,
I mean,
he
there's
goes
no
into that
question.
room where there's nothing but hardware, Lombardis and rings.
Nothing but rings and hardware, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
43 years of marriage, she knows me.
All right, now let the fans know you a little bit more right now. You guys can the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures 641-1010, and you can ask Coach any kind of intel you want, especially when it comes to this head coaching search and the potentials that are out there. But ramping up, how many years were you involved in postseason coaching as a coach?
Oh gosh,
Well, if just a guess.
12,
Leon will rattle off how many
12
games.
or 13.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Not more games than that, but I mean,
But years. Like seasons.
Yeah.
You had two or
Yeah.
three here, right?
Yeah, 2 here.
Two here, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's what I was thinking. I'm thinking somewhere around a decade and a half, something like that.
At least 12. I
Yeah,
would
especially if you throw Miami into the equation as well.
say. Right.
You know what's
right.
great? He's had so many, he doesn't really know.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So
Imagine that.
give us an idea, that ramp, like how it felt to you as a coach, the ramp from December into January to the Super Bowl.
Well, first of all, back in the day, the same as it is now, what you do in the regular season doesn't really matter. Mm-hmm. It matters to get you to a point where you get into the playoffs.
Right.
And when you get into playoffs, everybody says, well, it ramps up a bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's just common sense, natural, that you're looking at. Now it's all about that ring. Up until that point, it was all about getting to a point where the ring is in your face, in your picture. So when you get to that game, the ramping up happens, because if you're a competitor, that's why you're in the league. Now, unfortunately, there are some that are in it just for the money, but the majority of those guys, the ring is the thing. And so, the ramp up, it happens, and it happens. The story of I thought we lost home field advantage in that Thanksgiving Day game, almost cost me a divorce.
Yeah,
because in my mind it was we lose this one, we're not going to get home field advantage. We're not going to have a shot at getting that ring.
Yeah.
And as it turned out, we ran out the table and ended up winning the Super Bowl that year. So it's a big deal. I mean, these guys right now, if you're not fired up about this as a fan of a team that's in it,
right,
you're not looking at things the right way, really.
Right. So division round, clearly, if you're in the division round, you're doing something right, okay?
Correct.
Now, I will say this. If you're a team that is on like a little roll and you're not really expected to be there, is there any truth to the whole concept of house money idea? You're just playing with house money. You shouldn't be there anyway. Like the Commanders, heck, like the Jaguars in 22. Can you get to that point where your players not only believe that, but they thrive on that? And they play to their ceiling. Everybody does.
Yeah, I think everybody plays to their ceiling.
No matter what.
But I do believe that when they look at it, the team that gets into playoffs thinks they're going to win it. Period.
Every one of them.
All of them.
Right.
I mean, if I'm looking at and a perfect example, I think was the Jaguars last 2 years ago when they came from behind to win that game. I mean, they believed that they were going to win that game.
Up and until Jamal Agnew fumbled the football.
Yeah, right, right. And then get to Kansas City, then that's a different story. But up until that point, they felt good that they had a shot to win it. And I think everybody that gets in thinks they can win it.
And we're looking at, we didn't spend a lot on Baltimore and Buffalo, and we will do a little bit more. We got our picks coming up in just a little bit, but we're talking about two teams that are averaging over 30 points per game. Okay, these are two teams that are two of the top three when it comes to you just roll the ball out, kick it off, and someone's getting on that scoreboard immediately. How do you think this thing shapes up for what should be, we hope, one of the best offensive showcases and playoff games that we've seen in a while, honestly?
Yeah. My feeling is that the teams that have the best defenses will win. That's how I look at it. And if you look back in history,
right,
that is the case.
Oh, yeah.
Now, obviously, if you got a high-powered offense, you're going to have to match them somewhere along the line. But the defense that plays the best, I think when it gets to this round, it comes down to turnovers. It's not how many good plays you make, it's how many bad ones you avoid.
That's a good way to put it.
And that's really where it's at right now, because I think all these teams are good enough to go all the way. And to me, I think it's exciting to have two, Hall of Fame, not Hall of Fame, they will be Hall of Famers, but two MVP candidates playing against each other. I mean, how does it get any better than that? Two quarterbacks that, so that's what's fun about it, and every game in the NFL, comes down to a field goal or 4 or 5 points or whatever, but even more so in the playoffs. I think it's going to be a great games.
Bills led the AFC, ranked second in the NFL, 30.9 points per game. Baltimore third, 30.5 points.
Yeah.
But and people might hear Dave and think, well, he's a defensive coach. Of course, he's going to say that. But the defense on the Chiefs has been just remarkably stout during this run with Pat Mahomes. Look. I mean, Karlaftis drafted, Wharton drafted, Chris Jones drafted, Leo Chenal drafted, Nick Bolton drafted. All these guys have been drafted by them. And the guy and the guy who's coordinating it, Spags, who interviewed here, has done a remarkable job.
Yep.
And I think that's kind of gets overlooked in this whole run of Mahomes, which has been phenomenal. Okay, don't get me wrong, but they're really good on defense. They get stops when they need to get stops.
And those draft picks you're talking about, that's Brett Veach. That's another outstanding front office that has kicked tail.
Absolutely, and I think that's been that way. I mean, you don't consistently do what the Kansas City Chiefs have done, for an example, without consistency of picks, how your organization works,
philosophy,
everything. And they know Andy Reid knows what he wants the team to look like, and they pick that way. I mean, that's why I always say the GM and the head coach, if they're on the same page, you got a chance to have a
everybody knows
quality.
their position. Like you always say on teams, everybody has to know their job and do their job.
Right.
It's also in the front office, right?
Yep.
Everybody has to know their job. Everybody has to do what they need to do.
Right.
I think the problem over there right now in this facility Because I don't think everybody knows their job.
Well,
I don't think everybody's doing their job. And I think it's on both with guys on the field and the front office.
Right. And one guy's telling the guy that owns the team that he's the only one doing a good job.
Right.
Everyone else is doing
well,
a bad
that too,
job.
obviously.
Yeah. So, that's part of the whole BS that's coming out of the building.
But if you've got that much dysfunction, Dave, where you don't have people just do your job. It's like the classic Will Muschamp YouTube thing when he's the Texas defensive coordinator and he punches the thing at halftime, the board, the grease board, and he screams, just do your job.
Yeah.
If everybody just does their job, you're in good shape, correct?
Yeah. And I think that's why, you get a game that you lose because you miss a field goal or you
can't pass off in zone.
Yeah. I mean, those things show up. That's why you always hear and I say it more than anybody, I guess, that it comes down to 4 or 5 plays in a game that make the difference. Because
and you text us on all 4 or 5 of those plays.
Yeah.
Every time one of those plays comes around, Joe,
I'll say,
every time he texts us immediately.
I know this. I'd like to have 1st and goal back with the Texas Longhorns against stinking Ohio State. I would love to have that back. Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
But you didn't.
No, I did not. I did not. All right, real quick, since you mentioned how tough it is, and this question was asked by one of our texters earlier, 641-1010, you guys can get in the conversation. But the head coach, which I want to ask you coming up here in a second, what you think about the latest that has come out with this job and the others. But would a coach look at the division, and he mentioned the AFC South and the NFC North, would you look at a division and say that I might be looking at an easier path to success if I go here versus there?
Yeah, and of course I listen to you guys all the time, and I heard the conversation and the gentleman that was on the text line and asking that question. My feeling is that you go where the quarterback is. If you think you're a good football coach, and I really loved listening to Aaron Glenn because Aaron Glenn said it right. You're hiring a coach, not an offensive coordinator or a defensive coordinator. So in reality, I think Harbaugh is a perfect example of what we're talking about here, of going in and saying, hey, I got a quarterback. Okay, so I might want to, and I love Matt when he said that you'd probably rather play against Levis than Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
But at the same time, if you're playing against Levis and you've got Joe Schmo as your quarterback, it doesn't matter.
Right, you're in trouble.
You're in trouble with the Levis.
Yeah.
Okay, so my mind is that you go in with a quarterback. You look at the division because obviously that's something that you could say, well, there's no team that stands out in that division. And you said it earlier that every game in the division is tooth and nail.
My God, the Chiefs were 5-1 this year. Listen to this: the Chiefs were 5-1 this year in their division. Okay. They won 3 games, each game by 2 points.
Yeah.
The other 2 by 7.
Yeah. They had double-digit one-score games but they won them all.
And
I know they won them all. But my point is, those are dog fights. I don't care what division you're in.
And you said Houston the same way. Every game was 3-2, 3-4, 3-5.
Yeah.
So in reality, you can look at it and say, well, no team stands out when you're making a decision. But the decision is more based on, I'm a coach. Give me the quarterback. And let's roll.
It's funny, chance of success. I think you should always weigh all your options. Okay.
Yes.
And if you go to a place where it's just been nothing but hell for the fans for a long time, then anything you do is going to be a plus. So that's one good way to look at it. But then also long-term success. Is it a good enough organization that you can go and get the support?
That's the important thing. And really, do you? Let me throw this one out there. Would you rather go in a division that every game's a dog fight and you're not sure where you sit there, or would you rather go into a division where the guys have no wins,
right?
And you can only go up.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's different ways of looking at it. And
like here's a couple texts off of this, and the one point that I would make is that Sean Payton was a Super Bowl winner. He walked in and found a way to get rid of Russell Wilson, found a way to draft Bo Nix, turned them into a playoff team.
Right.
Jim Harbaugh said, I'm going where the quarterback is. I'm going where I got a top 5 pick. And so not one team from the AFC West made the postseason, 3 teams from the AFC West. Now, those other 2 were knocked out in the first round, but whatever. They quickly established. So the texter, Rex Ryan, went into the Jets at the peak of Belichick Brady, took him to consecutive AFC championships. Now, it didn't last, but that's 100% true. Jimmy Johnson, this is right in went into the division of Bill Parcells and Joe Gibbs.
Right.
Because he says, I can win.
Right.
And beat the hell out of everybody.
Yeah. Eventually.
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah.
But he looked at it and said, I can win.
It actually didn't take a while. It took you, 2 years before you guys started?
Yeah, well, the third year we
throwing
went to the
punches.
playoffs. The fourth year we won the Super Bowl, but it took us a little while.
the end of the
That's more than
second year.
15 seasons.
Right.
Felt like 5 seasons at one time.
But even you said by the end of the second year, you guys felt like you were a playoff team.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff. All right, we'll keep it going on that front as far as where this coaching search is. Coach, you need to jump in on the idea that maybe Ben Johnson is enamored with this job as any of the others. And then you mentioned Aaron Glenn, who what we think the possibility of maybe him being a good head coach and possibly being here in Duval. It is XL Primetime on a Florida Home AC Friday.
It's Florida Home AC Friday on XL Primetime. Hit the text line with some cool rock requests.
I did not see this one coming.
Radio play-by-play is like stepping in a theater in your mind.
As good as it gets.
1010XL, Jacksonville's home for play-by-play.
Seminole Hard Rock Tampa is excited to bring you live craps, roulette, and sports betting. All under one roof, hotter than the Florida sun. Feel the luck of the dice, watch the roulette wheel spin, and scream for your touchdown as the big screen comes alive. Dine like a rock star, sip cocktails that shimmer, then dive into the heart of Las Vegas right here in Tampa Bay. Live craps, roulette, sports betting is here. Get in on the action now, only at Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Tampa, located off of I-4 near I-75. Gambling problem? Call 1-888-10-MINUTE.
Now, the Florida Gator Report on 1010XL, brought to you by San Jose Collision.
The 15-2 Gators look to bounce back from their loss as they take on the Texas Longhorns for the first time as an SEC opponent when they come to Gainesville for Saturday's showdown, tipping off at 4 p.m. Then on Sunday, the Lady Gators head to Baton Rouge to try and recover from Thursday's loss to Ole Miss by trying to knock off the 5th-ranked LSU Tigers at 1 p.m.
When you step into a courtroom, you're stepping into a fight. Someone wins, someone loses. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we've got the experience you want in your corner if you or a loved one suffer a personal injury or a wrongful death. We're here to fight for you. So if you get hit, hit back with Hastings Injury Law, offices Jacksonville. Find us on the web at 904hitback.com or call our 24-hour helpline, 904-HITBACK.
Cannonball!
Honey, someone's in our pool.
Oh, refreshing.
John, what are you doing?
Oh, hey, Dave. Seeing as how me and the guys at Clearwater Irrigation reinstalled your sprinklers after the pool contractor ripped it out, I thought you wouldn't mind if I took a quick dip.
But in a Jaguar print Speedo?
Yeah, Dave. My bad. Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage, too.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by May 15th.
Mia O'Brien
is going to be the first woman president of the United States of America.
Catch me weekdays from noon to 2 on Helmets and Heels.
And she could run later this year even, and I would vote for her.
All things Mia are driven by Arlington Toyota on 1010XL.
New year, new boat. The Jacksonville Boat Show is January 24th, 25th, and 26th at the Prime Osborne Convention Center. Make your boating dream a reality this year. Deals on boats and accessories, fishing seminars, kids events, and more. The Jacksonville Boat Show, presented by ViStar Credit Union. Tickets at boatjacks.com. That's boatjacks.com. Come buy a boat.
Hi, it's Ben, second generation from Beards Diamonds. Guys, if you're popping a question soon, looking for an anniversary gift, before you buy anywhere, shop Beards. From a half carat to 10 carats, Beards will beat any competitor's price.
In the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's contestant, a professional stamp licker from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Martin Celery.
Oh, gosh. I can't wait to play, Bob.
Well, let's move things along. Tell him what he's won, Johnny.
Wait, but
That's right, Marty. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we've stocked up on the remaining inventory of low-cost 2024 model air conditioners. So you win. We're passing the savings on to you.
Can I answer a question first?
We need to make room for the 25s, so we're offering great deals on AC replacements while supplies last.
Could I spin the wheel at least? I've been practicing for a year.
With last-minute deals like this, there's no question that you are cool.
What do I tell my kids?
There you go. Have a souvenir t-shirt.
Thanks.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Chose C for CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. They can transform your backyard with fire pits, pergolas, screen enclosures, and outdoor kitchens. And CSS handles the entire project from start to finish. You dream it, they build it. CSSOutdoor.com.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
Bud Light and everyone at Anheuser-Busch want to remind you to get home safely every time. People are counting on you on the road and at home. Plan ahead with safe rides and don't forget to hydrate between beers. Bud Light encourages everyone to enjoy responsibly and socialize safely.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and this month I want to talk to you about welcoming the winds of change in your life. But so often, when we see the winds of change coming our way, our immediate response is to fight it. Friends, when you see things in your life changing, when the winds of change are coming your way, don't fight it, but embrace it. Recognize that God is stirring you up so that you too can soar like an eagle.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
When I get to the bottom, I go back to the top of the slide. Where I stop and I turn and I go for a ride. Till I get to the bottom and I see you again.
This is XL Primetime. Brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
That is so good. That's just
any Beatles cover.
It just takes you all the way back. And if you can't hear the tentacles of greatness that other ones tried to figure out how to follow, because there were just so many good ones, and that was a good one. That created a little genre right there. It did when you think about it, which is just pretty awesome. All right, we've got our head coach, Dave Campo, hanging out with us. Joe C., Matty Hayes, JJ. It is a Florida Home AC Friday. You guys keep it coming with rock and roll suggestions, put you in a good mood. And I do like our texter. He says, Coach is always great radio. Value his opinion. And I'm with you. I'm with you right there.
Totally.
100%.
That's
now, we
nice.
got a couple questions for Coach, but at least one that right now that I do think is worthwhile.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So the Titans, who had fired Rand Carthen as GM, moved on by selecting the Chiefs' assistant GM, Mike Borgonzi.
Oh, boy.
No kidding.
That is a guy that we've been talking about for quite some time.
That's a big move right there.
And
that is a chess move right there.
Yeah, because we always like to refer to it as you find the guy who was right next to the guy that makes every good decision. And so Ray Agnew, and I give Hayes Carline credit for this because I knew who he was, but I wasn't one of the people mentioning him. And he would always mention the Kansas City Chiefs personnel man as well. And you can go down the line with whoever the guy is that's there with Les Snead, with up in Baltimore with DeCosta. Those are the guys that are helping them put that framework together of keeping a good football team. So that now cuts a little deep because now someone inside the division has gotten
Chess move.
Yeah.
They go and get someone like that, whereas as opposed to you go and get the guy that ran Jim Harbaugh into college football.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of
Well,
we're not going down this negative road, okay? We've already said we've already said we weren't going to.
I don't want to hear anything about the Mayo Eaters, to be honest with you.
Exactly. The last time we said we were going to be positive, the emergency alert system came on. And I was going to make that for Jack Del Rio. Let's just do a round of applause for former Jacksonville Jaguar head coach. Out of coaching earlier this year, but he's coming back. European League of Football, and he will coach up. I'm a fan. The Paris Musketeers. Okay, I'm a fan. I know it doesn't sound tough, but it could be. Okay, I don't know what their mascot looks like, a jouster of sorts, but JDR back in it. All right, we'll roll with that.
We'll keep an eye on them this year.
Exactly. Here's what I got my eye on right now. And I wouldn't mind if you fired up some NFL music, JJ, because we have one college pick to make at the end, which will be Monday night. But let's just go ahead and get to it. Our XL Primetime picks as we break it down. And I'm telling you, I told 1010 Ozzy, I said, this is getting a little scary. We are running out of games to catch the coach. The coach. Because right now,
look how proud he is, man.
He's loving it right now. He's on top of the world. Okay, so
your world could not be better. With this next 3 days and the fact that you're on top of the picks, it's
I'm looking forward to these.
It does look like there's only so many games left, and I'll just state it clearly. He's almost dormy, and in golf that means you can't lose. You can tie, but you can't lose. He's almost dormy. So Coach is 69-51, went 4-2 last week. I went 3-3, went 65-55, kissing my sister. Leon did as well, but I'm a game up on him. 64-56 is Leon's record. Matt, the tidy 2-4. I feel like I'm gonna get him a T-shirt that says tidy 2-4, as he is 50-70. JJ, we did throw his picks in 2-4 as well against the spread, which is not easy. So let's get to the next round of picks and let's see where we are. Make sure that I have these right, and I know you guys are always on my case.
And I have Leon's.
Okay, you do have Leon's.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so did you verify with Big Sirs?
No, he just sent a bunch of teams yesterday.
Okay, all right.
I don't even know the lines, so I'll be hearing them for the first time.
Okay, because it's so funny. I've got my new computer, and I'm trying to make sure that I get the latest and greatest version of what we did, and suddenly I do not see the latest and greatest version, so this is not good right now. All right, so let's get to the picks, and we are going to do the AFC and NFC divisional round, and then we are going to do the Ohio State Notre Dame game. So let me just go ahead and pull this up. All right. Man, this is so hard to figure out.
This is so much
fun.
fun.
You looking for the line? I can get you the line.
No, I've got it all. I just, like, all of a sudden, this savage computer of mine does not want to give me exactly what I'm looking for. Which is just a little aggravating. All right. Why am I missing that one spread? Kansas City and Houston are the first game. It is a 4:30 kick, and right now the Kansas City Chiefs are listed as a 9-point pick. All right?
It's 8.5.
You have them 8.5?
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you've got them at 8.5, we'll make them 8.5 off of Hard Rock Bet. Thank you, sir. So you keep an eye on that. 8.5. Coach, which way are you going?
Houston Texans.
Wow. Oh, he's going Houston. All
really?
right.
I'm trying to give you guys a chance.
Oh, he wants to make it interesting down the stretch.
How about that?
Real quick reason why, Coach, just so I can hear it, okay?
Listen, I think they have figured out what it takes to win.
Really?
And
the switch was flipped.
And every game that Kansas City's been in has been a dogfight. And I think this is going to be a dogfight. I think the line is too big.
All right, I'm taking Houston as well, and we're going to plug it in as an 8.5-point line. JJ, what does Leon have?
Leon has the Chiefs.
Okay, he's got KC. Matty?
Are you sure that's your pick?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm all over that pick.
High of 24, low of 10 in Kansas City.
Jeez.
I'm taking the Chiefs.
I just wrote that one down, JJ.
Yeah, the Chiefs.
All right, KC. All right, so let's
10, Coach.
Let's go back up to the next one.
Hey.
And we have got, I just need to make sure I change that.
I don't make question my picks. I make them, and that's it.
Wow.
Okay, so I just want to make
You sound a little bit of a horse right now. Wow.
We're going 8.5 is the line that you have.
8.5, correct. I've got the updated lines. I'm staring at them right now.
All right, number 6 seed Washington against the number 1 seed Detroit Lions. 8 o'clock kick Saturday night, Fox television audience. Detroit is a 9.5. 9.5, yeah? 9.5. Man, what are you, just with your own book right over there? All right.
Hard Rock.
9.5, hardrock.bet. The over-under is right there at 55.5. Coach, what say you?
Detroit.
Okay. Detroit with no hesitation whatsoever. I am going to take the Washington Commanders.
Me too. I'm going to take the Commanders with a little playing with house money, hot quarterback. Yeah.
Big Searce is going where?
I'm taking Commanders.
Big Searce and JJ are going with the Lions.
Okay, both of you guys are going Detroit. And I'll just tell you this. I am in full character Bizarro Joe right now. Okay. I'm
not sure I want to hear that.
I will tell you later what I am doing, but right now I am full on. All right, next one. The 7 seed. Oh, hang on. Make sure I get this right. We got the Buffalo Bills against the Baltimore Ravens, which is the premier game Sunday night. So it's those top 2 teams in the AFC. And we have the spread right now as the Ravens as a 1-point pick. Is that correct? Matty on hardrock.bet.
The Ravens are a 1.5.
1.5. Ooh, 1.5 right now.
The Ravens are getting 1.5. The Bills. Excuse me, the Bills are getting 1.5. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I read that wrong. The Bills are getting 1.5.
This segment.
No kidding, right?
Wow.
Yeah, I see. JJ wants it back.
You want
I do need it.
You want to know the weather before you make your pick?
I was just going to say, I'm counting on it snowing, so I'm going with the Bills.
Sounds about right.
I'm going to give you the...
It's a high 20.
A high of 20.
I'm going to
Low
give you
10. Snow.
Yeah, the way they've got it, it is 13 degrees. Will feel like -3. And the chance of snow is 65%.
Yeah, there you go. See, and I had no idea, but I'm counting on it.
14-mile-per-hour wind gusts.
Oh, yeah. That's Buffalo all the way.
All right, so you're going Buff. Anyone who goes Buff, I can't argue with you, but I am going to go
6:30 kick, too, man. It's going to be so cold there.
Yep. I'm gonna go,
my gosh.
I'm going Balt. Leon is going.
Leon is going Baltimore as well.
I'm going Bills.
You going Bills?
Yeah.
You see Joe's strategy, though, right? Anything I pick, he's going opposite because that's the only way he's got a shot.
That's all he's got.
I'm going to go Buffalo.
All right. Maddie, did you go Buff?
Yeah.
I went Buff, yeah.
Okay, making sure. All right, JJ went Buff as well.
It's Nose Flowers, by the way.
Yep, he is out. All right, so our last game.
Eagles.
Philadelphia hosting the Los Angeles Rams. That is a 4 traveling on the road to the number 2 Eagles. The Eagles are laying 6 in this game.
6.5.
Okay, you have 6.5. This line keeps moving.
Snow expected there as well.
Yes, I was just going to say that. Snow in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
All right, 6.5, Coach. What do you like?
I like the Eagles. I don't like the Eagles, but I like it.
All right, as I write this down and give you Philadelphia, I'm going to take the LA Rams.
See?
And Leon is taking the Eagles.
I'm taking the Rams outright.
Yeah,
I'll take the points, but I'm taking them outright. I think that's the one upset this weekend.
Yeah, if I had to name, like, from Wild Card Weekend, you find one that you fall in love with, and you find one that makes you fall in love, and then you're dead wrong.
Right.
I think Houston we could be dead wrong with, and I think LA we could be. I'm looking at them to upset.
The snow scares me. I got to be. There's no doubt in my mind the snow definitely is going to be a factor.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy. And this is a bad stat. Even though I did pick LA to win this game, I want to say Matt Stafford's like 1-8 in cold weather games.
Is he really?
Yeah, it's not good. It's
Little
not good.
late.
All right, so Matt, you have got LA, and then JJ, you have got.
I got the Rams.
Okay, all right, cool. All right, so we are in there with those. Let's just switch it up real quick and let's do our college football national championship
here
game.
What, the latest line?
Yeah, might as well give it to me now.
Latest line, it is back down to 8.5. It started at 9.5, went to 8.5, went back up to 9.5. Now it's back down to 8.5.
All right, 8.5. Coach, Ohio State or Notre Dame?
Yeah, Ohio State's favorite, right?
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah. Ohio State. I can't vote. Even if it was reversed, I'd go Ohio State.
8.5, right? 8.5, you got Ohio State. All right, I'm going Ohio State.
Yeah, I think Ohio State wins. I mean, I picked them to win it all from the jump. But I will say this: you can't ignore what Notre Dame has done defensively throughout the playoff. I think they hold them. I think they hold it to under 8.5. I'm going to take the points and take the Irish.
All right, Leon is going where?
Ohio State. And I'm going Ohio State by like 20 plus.
Wow, really?
Not even a close game whatsoever. I think we're going to get another blowout in the title game.
Wow. I know that it was close to being close with Texas, and then it ended up being 28-14. They doubled them up.
Right.
And the only thing that could...
That was also a freak.
Right, it was. I'm just saying.
Very close to being tie game.
That's what I'm saying.
But they didn't cover.
It was that
Texas.
close, and then they had two explosive plays that ended up being the difference. And I just don't see Notre Dame having enough explosives. I love what Marcus Freeman does on the defensive side.
Jeremiah Love can give you an explosive now and then, man.
Yeah, which
they
would be
create
great.
No doubt about that.
Yeah, but they play man, and Jeremiah Smith's like, bring it on.
No, they'll bracket him.
They should. They
definitely
should.
bracket him.
All right, those are our picks. We will wrap up our show. Get ready for the Friends show coming up in a bit. Still reacting to the idea that Ben Johnson may be the guy in Duval. We'll get Coach's take on that coming up on XL Primetime.
Because life is a sport. Let the games begin! That's why we are Jacksonville Sports Radio. 1010XL.
Rev up your life with luxury at Vaughn Motor Group on San Jose Boulevard. Right now, used car prices are 12% lower than their peak in April of 2022, making this the perfect time to drive home in a dream car. Specializing in luxury used vehicles, offering you elegance at prices that are finally coming back down to earth. See special listings in the newspaper every Saturday or online at VaughnMotorGroup.com for a complete inventory listing. If you can dream it, you can drive it at Vaughn Motor Group.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. The playoffs are here, and that's a perfect time to play and win with Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with more than 10 million active members. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch your winnings roll in. Think Riley Leonard will rush for more than 1 touchdown in the national championship game? It's just that simple. And now you can win up to 100 times your money with as little as 4 correct picks. Prize Picks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. That's right. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit and cash out as quickly as 15 minutes. Now, here's the best part. Prize Picks is the only real money daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy. That means your lineups stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. Download the Prize Picks app today and use the promo code JAX, J-A-X, and get $50 instantly when you play 5. It's all there at Prize Picks. Run your game.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
This is Mark Nato. My son Justin injured his hand playing baseball for JU. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist performed surgery just a few days later, and within 5 weeks, he was cleared to play in the ASUN baseball tournament. Our family has trusted Southeast Orthopedic Specialist for years. For any orthopedic injury, let Southeast Orthopedic Specialist take care of you too.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Yup, E.T. here. And are you a golfer or a runner? Well, Clay County has you covered. The Hellcat 5K and 10K on Saturday, January 18th is at the historic Lee Field in Green Cove Springs, winding through a historic World War II naval base. Then, February 5th through the 7th, watch the top talent compete in the 2025 Clay County Open at Eagle Harbor Golf and Country Club. This pro tournament boasts golfers chasing the PGA Tour dream. For info on both events, visit the event calendar on exploreclay.com.
Baloo here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On January 17, 2012, LeBron James becomes the youngest player in NBA history to record 20,000 career points during Miami Heat's 92-75 victory over the Golden State Warriors.
Huddle up and catch all the playoff action at Hurricane Grill and Wings, where every day is game day. They're serving up the flavors you crave, from refreshing new cocktails to famous wings that are always better with Pepsi. And with happy hour deals, you'll be winning all day long. It's the perfect spot to catch all the football action with friends and family while enjoying your food faves, cocktails, and beer. Don't miss out. Swing by Hurricane Grill and Wings and see what everyone's cheering about.
Clean air, cool air, both are extremely important. Trust Florida Home AC to deliver on both with their Remy Halo, the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC and breathe clean and cool air.
Looking for a new or used firearm? Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach will get you locked and loaded. New firearms coming in weekly and always looking for used guns. No lines and no waiting. Online at beachesjewelryandpawn.com.
SportsForecaster.com has all the data you need to project tomorrow's winners. Register for free and track the performance of all your favorite players and teams, including all your fantasy team picks and prospects. Sports Forecaster has the most detailed player profiles on the web. Precise depth charts, every transaction, every injury, every news update. No ranting or raving, no preening or barstool bluster. At SportsForecaster.com, you get the timely info you need for every game. SportsForecaster.com. Sign up for free today.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jacks cool since '87.
My takeaway, guys, is that the season is winding down, and I'm not happy about that because I love watching football, but it's going to be a weekend that's going to get everybody excited because I think it's going to be really good games all the way through to Monday.
Yep.
And I'm looking forward to it and sitting in my room and watching the games.
Good for you, bro. My takeaway before I get that, it's 41.5 the total for the Texans and the Chiefs, Joe.
Okay, 41.5.
41.5.
You ought to see my masterpiece bookkeeping that I got going on right now.
I can only imagine. And well, by the way, the way you say Ben Johnson, the way it comes out of your mouth, you have a specific sound to it. And every time you say it, it makes me want to say Ben Jarvis Green Ellis. And I don't know why, but every time you say it, that hits my head. It's bizarre. My takeaway, I just thought I'd throw that in there just for the heck of it. My takeaway is I'm with Coach. I mean, there's not much left, man. Enjoy it. Enjoy it because soon, you're gonna wait 6-7 months until football begins again. And I'm not one of those guys that says, it's terrible, you got to wait 6-7 months. I mean, enjoy life through it, obviously. But yeah, I mean, it's such a short experience, especially college football, though now it's extended now with the playoff as well. But just enjoy it, man. It's such a fun thing. It's a great ride. It's a great reason to be alive, is it not?
Yeah, and I do think even though we saw blowouts, round one of the NFL, blowouts that kind of went through as a theme in the college football playoff, still love the heck out of it.
Yeah.
Love the heck out of it. It was a 28-14 game between Ohio State and Texas. Doesn't mean it wasn't close. Okay.
I mean, it was 21-14. They were going to the tie and sending it in overtime.
The closest blowout you've ever watched. And so it definitely could happen. But yeah,
I
man.
mean, the Penn State Notre Dame game was fantastic.
Yeah, bring it on. And I'm not necessarily going to subscribe to more of it because I do think there's a threshold that they need to stay, but they won't because they just want more money. It's just the way it is. But
It'll be 64 soon enough.
I will say, though, that I think the playoff was a success. If you really look at it.
Oh, yeah.
There's no question about it. Do they have to tweak some things? Absolutely, probably. But I think it was a success.
By the way, I think one of the things they're going to tweak, and we've all talked about, how much input does the selection committee have? Will they even have a selection committee? I think one of the things they're really going to look at is, do we need to go to quarterfinals on campus too? Which would be, to me, that would be fantastic. That'd be fantastic. I mean, look, at the end of the day, even if it hurts the bowl system, it's not really going to hurt the bowl system. You're still going to have those major bowls. If anything, you're going to highlight another team that for whatever reason didn't get to the playoff. Now they're in a major bowl.
Yeah.
Now they get to go to the Cotton Bowl. Or they get to go to the Orange Bowl when they're not in the rotation. There's nothing wrong with that. You're still going to get, like, Iowa will still bring 30,000 people to Miami for a bowl game if they're not in the playoff.
Yeah, you hope. And I hate the dismissive mindset of the bowls. I know they're not the most important thing, but they're also not useless. And I like them.
And it was also a great bowl season, too.
Yeah,
great bowl season.
It was. And so the danger is that you're going to – I love the fact that a team with a bye gets to host a game at home. That I think is very cool because they're not rewarded right now. And it will help the cost of travel if you do move on.
Now imagine those quarters. Imagine those quarters at home. Imagine Penn State having to go to Boise State and play that game.
Yeah.
I just don't want to see, avalanche of snow and all these games.
Or Texas having to go to Arizona State and play that game.
To me, the snow, it kind of ruins the product.
Well, it was a different element, so I liked it. And I don't think we had
What does Spurs say? Every playoff game should be played in a dome. He said that.
Yeah.
Like earlier this week, he said every game should be played in a dome.
It's because
That's
everything.
the quarterback talking.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't feel, but if Aaron Rodgers played for the Lions, he probably would have at least another ring.
He might.
Maybe, but I don't mind. I don't mind the weather. I think it's part of the game. It's what
I love that
you play to win games in September and October and November, so you can have that advantage.
And this is the first time that we
Is it an advantage?
But this is the first time.
For Ohio State, would it be an advantage if that Ohio State team had to play in the snow against Penn State or something? I don't know. They're sort of more of a passing offense. I don't know.
Right, but it's certainly an advantage if had Ole Miss made the tournament.
Yeah.
And they had to go up and play in the snow in Penn State.
I'll
You
give
better
you that.
believe that's an advantage.
All right, let's see if we can sneak in a bold fact before we are done.
Here's a bold fact brought to you by Bold City Brewery, Duval's first craft brewery. Online at boldcitybrewery.com.
So they got music tonight. They always have it going on at the production house on Roselle Street in Riverside and then downtown on Bay Street. Check out both Bold City locations and then log on boldcitybrewery.com because there's always some fun going on around there. You can go watch your ball as you enjoy a great pint. Thinking about going and getting the growler filled up with the XLP Hazy.
Nice.
Yeah. I love
You
it.
like the hazy.
Oh, it's great. Look for it on the menu, the XL Primetime, before it runs out. All right, so Derrick Henry, season-high 199 yards and a touchdown week 4 against Buffalo. Okay, so if you are trying to look to see, do they have enough big men now to stop him?
He ran over them, too.
Matt
That
Milano
was
is back.
golly.
That's going to be a big deal. He rushed for 186 and 2 touchdowns in the wild card win over Pittsburgh. 4th career playoff game with at least 150 rushing yards. That is incredible. So he now has 4 career playoff games with at least 150 rushing yards. He is tied with who? There are 2.
Ooh. Playoff games.
Yep.
Emmitt Smith.
I don't know if Emmett ever got that amount of yards.
I don't know if he had that high. I was there, so I don't remember it being that high.
Larry Johnson.
Nope, but I will say that Larry Johnson has picked up in nominations of late. He definitely has.
Yes.
Grandmama has definitely picked up.
Priest Holmes.
Nope.
Marshall Falk.
Nope.
Yeah.
These are all standards. I will tell you, one of them's
Yeah, they
old
are.
school.
Really?
Yeah.
Riggins?
No. We're talking old school, man.
Old school.
OJ.
Jim Brown.
There we go. Finally. All right.
All right.
That's
Hall
one.
of Famer Jim Brown.
How many more do we need?
13 games. Well, we need to get to this man, so we only have one more. And
Carlin can wait. He doesn't care.
he's a Hall of Famer.
He
He's a
might
Hall
throw
of
in an
Famer.
option too. How about Jamal Anderson?
Nope.
I don't know.
4 career
Who?
playoff games with at least 150 rushing yards. He is now tied with Jimmy Brown.
Roger
who
Craig?
Jim Brown had 13 games
Whoa.
over 150 rushing yards.
Wow.
Including the postseason for him. So he
That was
just
before
crazy.
the AFL joined and it became the
Yeah.
league that it was, though.
Yeah, but it was just crazy. So the other guy he tied, Terrell Davis.
Oh,
That's because once
that's
John
an obvious
Elway,
one, too, man.
once John
Yeah.
Elway got a run game,
Yeah.
if you need to look,
Get it.
like we're going to talk about Trevor here in a second,
Right.
look no further than how good Elway was when he had Terrell Davis. That's for sure. A good bold fact. Now let's get bold right now.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. Find the coolest cats in town at coolcatsjacks.com.
See, the embedded and shredded nodded his head and he went, hell yeah, as soon as he heard it.
Let's get him
Bold.
hyped up.
My guy
Bold.
right here.
Bold.
My guy.
Terrell Davis with John Elway. Trevor Lawrence with, I don't know.
Genty with the fifth pick.
Yes, Ashton Genty.
Yeah.
That could work.
But yeah, hopefully we don't have to wait. John had to wait.
Mhm.
You know, what was
he
he
did.
when TD finally got there?
Yeah, he
Probably
did.
mid-30s,
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
hopefully Trevor doesn't have to wait until
not
getting that
until
kind of support.
12th year, 13th?
97 and 98 is when he won, and he was drafted in 83.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
longer than
a
that. Yeah.
heck of a long time.
Yeah.
So you kind of started that fervor of excitement. The
Your
embedded,
sources.
yeah, the embedded and shredded yesterday. You still feel good?
Yeah, I do.
So daily gauge of Hayes Carline's pulse on Jacksonville.
Yeah, because it can waver. The pendulum can swing.
I mean, clearly it can.
But no, I feel good about it. I mean, again, it's I would equate it to you're in the fairway on 18 with a 3-shot lead. I think with this.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's big.
In the fairway.
In the fairway.
Now, Coach Campo's a little
Not
worried
second
about
cut, first cut, fairway.
Wow. Yeah. It's, you still have to hit it a pro. I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not a done deal.
Yeah.
But you're in impeccable shape. So yeah, I mean, I think it's going to work out, and it will be Ben Johnson. But again, until and the problem is we're in all likelihood going to have to wait weeks. Before there's an official announcement because nothing can be made official.
How good is
until-
your approach shot, by the way?
Well, if it was me, we'd be in trouble. But I'm saying I'm saying this analogy
As a
applies to
golfer.
a pretty good golfer
All right.
being in the
Is it
middle
Adams?
of the fairway on 18 with a 3-shot lead.
Is it Adam Scott hooking it into the lane
Right.
at 18? He did win.
He did win.
He did win. Or is it be the right club today?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
so-
Get the 7-iron, just hit it.
Yeah.
Just nice and easy, man.
Yeah, I think it's going to work out, and look, if it does, it'll be sensational. I mean, this is what we want. We want hope and optimism and energy and excitement back, and we want people to, and we want to be excited about the direction of the club, and that was hard to find. When we, heard the decision of it was going to be Peterson out, which was the right decision, but a retention of Trent Baalke. So if they end up getting Ben Johnson here, I think that's going to completely eradicate the negativity that surrounded the, what happened.
It's more than
14
just
days ago.
Pepto-Bismol for Baalke, itis. It really is. It would be huge. All right, real quick. Borgonzi's a guy you've been talking about a bunch.
Yeah.
Into the division. I know you guys will get into this, but that was a big piece of
That's
news.
a great hire for Tennessee. Yeah, he's somebody that it's shocking to me how long it's taken for him to get a general manager job. I mean, he is somebody that going back
He's leaving
to
KC and coming to Tennessee.
Yeah, and he's been with the Chiefs the entire build. And so I think it's an outstanding hire for Tennessee. I mean, I don't know Mike at all personally, but just how could you not want to be around somebody that, they identified Mahomes when not very many people had an inkling of what he would be. Then, so they build this offensive juggernaut. Then they radically transform their identity into a team that certainly Mahomes makes plays to win, but they win a lot of games with their defense. They win with special teams. And so it's a credit to just how well-versed they are as a scouting unit that they've been able to win in a variety of different ways and are, going for a three-peat. So, yeah, I didn't like seeing that. I still don't really like Callahan that much as their coach. So I still want, but if it doesn't work out, he'll be there one more year. They'll fire him, and then Borgonzi will be able to go get his own guy. But yeah, that wasn't good news for the Jaguars. He's somebody that had there been a clean sweep here, and maybe you didn't have such a candidate like a Ben Johnson, Borgonzi would have been incredibly high up on my list. He was in previous GM searches here.
Yeah, I remember you for sure. All right, you guys got
tons of Jaguars coming up. We'll also talk about the Gators. We got lots to get to on the Frangie Show. Should be a lot of fun coming up.
Sounds good, Hayes. Thank you, man.
Guys.
All right, they are coming up. We say thanks to Florida Home AC. You know that they make you cool on Friday every day of the week, the official AC provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars. So thanks to them, and thanks to all of y'all. We are done, Coach. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Matty Hayes, JJ, Joe C. We'll have Big Search back next week. Enjoy your divisional round.
Everyone wants to doubt Jacksonville. Never doubt Jacksonville.